Good morning, everyone. It's 5 a.m. It is 6/8/2020, the year we all live in hindsight. What I'd like to talk to you about today is my tax plan. So, because of the government shutdown, and I mean, when I say the government shutdown, I don't mean because the COVID crisis government shutdown, because it was reasonable to assume at a certain point that social distancing and what do they call that, shelter in place was necessary. And like good citizens, we all did. Not because of fines, not because of a ordinance passed by some authoritarian governor, but because we're good citizens in America, we generally do what we're asked to do in times of crisis. All right, so when we sheltered in place, when we social distanced, it was for the right reasons. But at a certain point, like many of us realized, the lives we might or may not save were going to be less than the lives we're going to lose and the lives we're going to disrupt if we don't open up our economy back up. And think about it like this. There wasn't an old person I talked to that was willing to sacrifice their children's future for a few more years of their own. Not one. Not one elderly person, even those that were susceptible or had a compromised immune system, said they would rather live another 5 years and jeopardize the future of their children and grandchildren. Not one. But nobody wanted to frame it like that. They didn't want to frame it that by having people shelter in place and social distance was going to be such a catastrophic measure that it might ruin the futures of our children. So Jay Inslee was dead wrong on that one. And I've never done that because I believe in America, I believe in our Constitution, and I believe in freedom and liberty. Give me liberty or give me death. All right. But since Jay Inslee is governor, and he did stretch the authoritarianism as far as he could get to scare people as much as he could scare them, because the scared populace is a controllable populace. You either put some in cages or you let others do what they want. It's just that easy. You got the caged people and then the obedient people, right? Okay. Slaves and then prisoners. That's what Jay Inslee wants. He wants the slaves who are obedient over here, and he wants the slaves that are disobedient in cages over here. That's his idea of a good society, not mine. So here's my tax plan to fix what Jay Inslee broke. All right, it's just as simple. It's time to think a little bit out of the box, people. Seattle, left-leaning liberals, middle of the road to even far left liberals keep talking about they want to redistribute wealth. They want the rich to pay, but when they're saying this, you're like, you want the rich to pay, but you're always pointing at like Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates or a single person, as if Jeff Bezos is more than just one rich guy. He's just a very rich guy. He's not the rich. I've noticed that usually the people pointing to the Jeff Bezos are fairly rich themselves. So you got to remember, how do you classify rich? Is it a certain number, or is it just people that have more money than you? I'm serious. Are you calling yourself well off but not rich, when comparison to most people you're actually rich? It's a tough call. I'm not even trying to say, take some self-analyze. Are you lying to yourself about the fact that you're not rich in comparison to the rest of the state, the rest of the city, the rest of the neighborhood, or maybe the rest of the country? It's funny how people like to frame things to make themselves look like they're oppressed. Because look, if we frame the world and you make more than $32,000 a year, you're part of the 1%. Oh, well, no, I just did America. Well, that's convenient then. That's convenient to put it just in America, right? I'm not trying to throw stones. I'm saying we need to think about things in relation to the actual reality on the ground. All right. So here's my tax plan. It's a temporary tax plan that avoids the catastrophic effects of an income tax. Because an income tax isn't going to be temporary, and they're not going to cut away so you have to cut away all the regressive taxes we already have, which I don't think are that regressive, but hey, that's my opinion. But you're not going to cut enough away. So let's say you had to cut away that many taxes that already exist, so that the income tax isn't overwhelming, right? Well, they're not going to. People are going to fight to keep their little tax in there, right? So let's just keep those taxes going, because as regressive as they might be, they've worked up to this point. All right. So if you elect me for governor, I'm going to impose or put forth on legislature, because I'm not authoritarian. I'd want to get this voted in, a temporary state property tax. That's right. It would start at about $225,000. If your home is worth $225,000 and $1, you would be taxed 0.4%. That's 0.4%. That's not even 1%. And then every $100,000, it would go up by a 0.4%. It would increment at 0.4%, and it would cap off at 18%. Whoa, 18%? Are you serious, Cameron? Are you serious? You're really going to tax people way up here 18% on a $3 million home? Yep, for 3 years. This is to help the poor. This is to fix the budget until we can get the economy going, so that whoever owns that $3 million can make more money. All right? See, I know it's going to hurt the whole belt strap a little bit, but if you feel like the rich owe the poor, if you feel like the banks owe us a favor, if you feel like, hey, now's the time when the well-to-do community could really help our state or our country, I'm imposing a 3 to 5 year. We'll have to look at it. We'll have to see what the budget is. I don't know how bad Jay Inslee's messed it up. I have to get in there. If I don't know what's broke, I can't fix it, right? So I'm proposing a 3 to 5 year state property tax to make ends meet, to get that budget all tightened up, so that we can go back to living the way we've always lived here in Washington. Very lucky, very fortunate, very well off. Thank you for listening. My name is Cameron Vesey. Please vote for me.